Well, good evening to the third edition of this year. This is African football. We're back again discussing some topical matters around African football. As you know, a lot is happening currently. I know that most people there have got their eyes and ears fixated on what's going to happen in Morocco on the 12th of March. But there's more important things happening. Because football is not played in the boardroom. Football is played on the field of play. And I think that's where our focus right now should be on such matters. Talking of that, I'm here with some greats of African football, former international players, and also a former international player in the boardroom space when it comes to making those big deals as well. Coming all the way from Kinshasa, he was not part of the Rumble in the Jungle. That one again.
No.
But he's a member of the V Club.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Jeff Katala.
Oh, yes. Good evening, everybody. I'm sorry just because last time I couldn't make it because I had, assignments. But it's been, every time that I miss the show, it pains me because I've got a lot to share with my African compatriots, and I'm still very sad because I don't see many youngsters involved in knowing African football. Most of them, they turn to England, Spain, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. And if CAF doesn't really take heed, there will be no one to tell the story, the story that should stand the test of time. And I'm talking about the cream of the la creme, which is African football. And I like more involvement from African youngsters to take our game to the next level.
Very interesting, that one, Sir Jeff. I know the tournament. It's a tournament that he likes to talk about.
favorite.
Greg Etafia.
That's why I didn't even mention it.
And your nation is playing right now, Very interesting that the Super Eagles are not even playing.
No. The Super Eagles, not the Gusi. The mighty Super. You must put that mighty. It's a pleasure to be here. I always love to be in the show. Learning more about African football is the most important thing. Learning from you guys and doing the research, other countries. In terms of the northern part, western part. Most especially the southern region, where you based on, you want to talk more what's happening on the field, So I'm so humble and grateful to be here. But we miss you at the back, We're playing two at the back. We keep it tight. Towards the dying minute, we have to just give up, man. Too much pressure, It's nice to welcome you back, man.
Yeah, but if I have to say, we have Uganda's finest, all the way from Kampala. I see in Kampala you've taken this thing of being politicians to the next level. You decide that, it's not enough that I'm currently a CAF executive member. I'm talking about Makoko.
Okay.
He's also Fufa, he's Fufa's president. And then he decides now to be a member of parliament. Timothy Patapaire.
That's what football can do for you if you use it wisely. Right now in Uganda, the true definition of democracy has come to the fore, and that's the separation of the minority. At this moment in time, we have the FUFA president, that is Mr. Magogo, becoming a member of parliament. His decision to stand was informed by the fact that that's only when he can make a contribution to the powers that be that can enable him to transform football in Uganda. And we are thankful that he made it through it. We hope he remembers his promise to us that he will use that platform to try and advocate for the government involvement in developing football in Uganda. So he's welcome on board.
As a member of parliament, it shouldn't just be football, it should be sport overall.
Yeah.
Look, that's very important, but remember he's the head of football.
No, I'm just saying what he'll be advocating for.
Look, at the end of the day, he's going to try to advocate more for sports. But remember, he's under football. So the rest of the sports, they have to try and lobby him to try and
But he's not part of the ruling party, right?
No, he is. Part
He
of
is
the-
one of them.
Yes.
But it's like Chinyongo when
He is.
the big man was there.
Yeah, so he was able to lobby the government to try and pump in a lot of money for the Uganda Cranes qualifications and everything like that. So in advocating to be in parliament, he is informed that will be a game changer for football transformation.
Yeah. So what I want to also touch on, so him not going for a return to CAF executive. In any case, he was not elected in the CAF executive. He was co-opted.
Yes.
So that's why he is not challenged for any position at CAF.
Look, he's part of the young generation in CAF, so I'm sure he's playing his game well, and
He's
I think
afraid of integrity check.
he's very intelligent, and I can't say that in the future will be one of those candidates to watch.
Wait, you've got a very serious point. Because he was found guilty.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Yes.
He wouldn't try.
No, but you see,
There's no no.
no, there is a no, and this is why. There's
No,
this
no, no.
court-
They,
there's
no,
this
no.
court
Remember,
based in-
it was
no,
they just reduced his sentence.
you know,
Otherwise,
this is what is interesting.
He was guilty.
Oh, yeah.
No, he did not deny. That's a matter of fact. And he served his sentence. So this court that is based in Switzerland knows that he served his case. He's a reformed candidate.
You
So
know,
I will be interested
But
to
his
know.
police clearance has that mentioned.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But the records state that he served his sentence.
Yeah. But he
According-
doesn't take his criminality away.
Yes, there's a time when that goes out of the window because he served it. He did not say no.
He said Timothy.
He said yes.
You remember he said Timothy said when Siasia, is it Siasia? Something Siasia.
Yes,
Yeah.
He said no.
No.
He
was found guilty.
okay.
Once you are found guilty,
Yeah.
you have to acknowledge.
Okay.
Once you acknowledge, we know that yes, you went against the ethics.
Yeah.
Now, once you come back and say, I'm reformed, then we go back in the sitting room and
Yeah,
say,
but
okay,
they won't take away your conviction.
that's true. But remember, the reason why we are convicting you is for you to take responsibility for the wrongs you have committed. Once you do that, we know yes.
But it's also a reference for people who want to employ him in the future.
That's no problem. But as long as you offer yourself, then it's their problem to choose you or not to choose you. If they choose you, then we welcome you that you are reformed.
well, very interesting. Well, on some of the topical matters that we'll be looking at today, we had at the South African Football Journalists Association, we had a very enlightening interview. It was supposed just to be an hour-long interview, but as you know, interviews with Al Ahly head coach Peter Mosimane, they go on and on and on like that. So a lot of issues came up in that interview with him yesterday. I see the one which is widely reported about of Serino, what he was reacting to. But I just feel that the issue of Serino has long been debated now. And I think we've touched on it here because there were far more important things that were discussed in that presser. Firstly, the interview was around the draw. Now we know the draw for the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
It's coming up next week, after next week, in fact. And they've been drawn against a team from Qatar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the very same team where
host.
former Moroccan captain is playing now.
Yes, yes.
Benassia and the Tunisian Sakni.
Yes.
They're playing,
Benassia, and I think they've also just signed
And the Kenyan
the
Olunga.
Kenyan Olunga.
Yeah,
And
also playing
I
there.
understand Peter was also saying yesterday that they were also looking at Olunga as well. So, I mean, when I look at in the history of African teams, especially in the last 10 years, only Raja Casablanca and TP Mazembe have been to the final.
Yeah.
I think TP
Raja reached the final because they hosted the tournament.
No, but also
Morocco.
No, remember, we're not talking about playing in the Club World Cup. We're talking about getting to the final.
Yeah.
So they won matches to get to the final. They didn't get to the final because they were hosts.
Yeah, they played, yeah. They did play.
Yeah. I see what you're trying to do.
No, I'm not trying to do anything because I remember that tournament very well because it was hosted in Morocco. Morocco hosted 2 editions.
Correct.
Yeah, and so I could see that, before we came on air, we just mentioned the refereeing, the officiating, because it was very...
It was aiding
Absolutely.
Raja.
Absolutely.
Okay. And they played also Bayern in the final, right? Didn't?
Yes, no, it was Real Madrid.
Or Real Madrid, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
okay.
Real Madrid,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at Tipi Mazembe. I think Tipi Mazembe had a very good run.
Yeah.
Because they played against Inter. I think it was Inter.
The Inter in the final.
In the final, yeah. Looking at this current Al Ahly team, because I see that the draw has placed them in a situation where if they go past the Qatar team,
They will play Bayern.
they will play Bayern.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's a good one for them, I think, Pitso is, what he has been saying all along is for him to do well in this tournament. It's one tournament, he has that ambition to go far, but, you have to win the game in front of him first because, you cannot think about Bayern Munich without playing that team from Qatar, but I think one of his influential midfielder was, is it Suleiman?
Yeah, Suleiman,
I
the
think,
veteran.
I think he's gonna miss him, because he was injured in the last game, hamstring injury. So, but nevertheless, it's opportunity for other players to raise their hand up, and Pitso, he can make unknown player to become a star. That's why he's a great coach. That's why Al Ahly signed him, and that's why he's looking forward to this tournament. Playing Bayern Munich, what can you say about Bayern Munich? You can't compete against them. You can only go and do your best and hope.
Why not compete against them?
If you talk about we're playing the same tournament, you're gonna compete. But if you talk about the quality, I'm just putting Bayern Munich.
No. That's where we fail most of the time because
Jeff, you can see the quality of Bayern Munich. Out of 10, if they play Al Ahly,
when you take TP Mazembe, back then they played against one of the biggest in South America. That was should be Estudiante. Oh no, it wasn't Corinthians. It was a team from Uruguay, if I'm not mistaken.
Uruguay.
And it
where's Colo Colo from?
Colo Colo is from Colombia.
Colombia, no.
Yeah. Argentina, maybe.
Somebody's.
So
from somewhere either in Peru, Uruguay, or
And they did play without any complex. And I remember Samuel Eto'o after the final when he was interviewed. He said that we're talking about an amateur club from Africa reaching the final. The way they played against the South American, you couldn't see that they didn't show that they were amateur. They did play like a professional, and we want that mentality to keep going on from African side. But when you take the history of FIFA World Club Cup, FIFA Cup, most of the time we don't have, our achievement is very poor. It's very poor. We don't stand against those teams. Why? Because Aja can manage to beat 1 or 2, but we most of the time when we start, we're kicked out. Because I remember Pitso did go with Sundowns in
yes.
South.
I was there in the tournament.
Yeah, they didn't do very well. Well, in 2016, they did pretty. We could see that in Africa they performed very well, but when they go at the world stage, they're failing. There should be something that need to be done about.
That's why, Jeff. That's why I was saying that based on this history and based of. If African team goes playing those tournaments, unfortunately they meet some of the bigger team, for them to go all the way to the finals. Bayern Munich is a small team, but we all know that,
But you have to play. You just
yes, 90 minutes. We all hope.
Play.
For me, what's important is we have to recognize the fact that Bayern Munich is superior.
Yeah.
They have got their own weaknesses. So normally when a superior team meets an amateur team,
you
play your own game.
Who's amateur team? Al Ahly is not amateur team.
No, you are comparing. You brought the comparison.
No, I'm just saying the quality. I'm talking about the quality of what they have achieved in terms of on the pitch.
Our own amateur.
No, you can't put it amateur. No, Al Ahly has never been amateur. No. Al Ahly. You can say Al Ahly. Okay, you can say Bayern Munich in the cup game. Bayern lost against an amateur team in the cup game or the German cup game, which they lost.
So that should
It's
give
like,
us
it's like
confidence.
Madrid, it's like
they can
Madrid,
lose.
Madrid yesterday. They lost.
Against the
third division.
third division
team,
team.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
in the Copa del Rey. Yeah, but you see the problem. I remember in '82 because I was watching from archives. When they asked the German coach before playing Algeria at the World Cup in Spain, he said, no, the first goal which will be for our wives, the second goal which will be for our pets, and the 10th goal will be for,
So that's Trini or 4.
we are 4 but 10. But when they went on the pitch, I was very well pleased when I saw that the like of Belumi, Assad, Rabah Majeh,
Yes.
Mexican, they were all there and they beat them 2-1.
Yeah.
And that was, it is the very same, the very same carry that our determination that I want to see from Al-Ali when they play against
Don't forget Italia 90, you must mention Super Eagles. Only said the 3-2 against Spain.
Yeah, and I'm talking that was in '98.
Yeah,
That was '98.
yeah.
There were most professionals, but I'm talking about amateur because Algeria were amateur.
Yeah.
They were amateur, and like Cameroon in 1990 in Italy, they were all amateurs, and they beat the world best. This is what I want
It's
from
all
Africa.
about the mentality.
Yes, it is about mentality.
Once you get the right mentality going into this tournament, and just convince yourself that you are here to market yourself.
Yeah.
You need Bayern to sign you. You will surprise yourself that you'll outperform the likes of Bayern. By the time the 90 minutes are finished,
Yeah.
I'm telling you they will be winning.
You have
Yeah.
Pizzo. Pizzo
yeah,
can do that.
Yeah, so very interesting. They were playing against International.
Oh, international from
Brazil.
Brazil.
international is from Brazil.
Yes, from
Yeah,
Brazil.
yes, it was from Brazil.
In 2010,
Yeah,
and they won 2-0 that
2-0. Yeah.
Yes. And then at least our producer can tell us.
And Kalutuyuka used to play here for Amazulu, but he was not doing very well. He went back to Vita,
Oh, yes.
and they bought him by
And he
TP
scored
Mazembe.
against
He scored
International.
against International. Yeah.
So Colo Colo is from Chile.
Chile.
Yeah. Colo Colo from
Yes,
Chile.
yes. But
Arturo
what-
Vidal
yeah,
comes from
But what
there.
I like about Al Ali is that they have not rested. Now that
Yeah, but
they're-
Al Ali have been there more than 8 times.
yes.
They've never achieved anything tangible.
No.
Why?
There's always the first time.
What,
The first time, man.
No, there's always the first time. To achieve-
will beat Bayern Munich.
no. But what I'm saying is that
Now
even today
it-
they were playing.
Oh, yeah. The
They
league
were
game.
playing.
No, it will be very
And at
good.
halftime they were trailing 2-0.
Yeah.
You know, they were trailing 2-0, but Pizzo came back. He made 3 subs. And from the 3 subs that he made, I see that Mohamed Sharif, who came in just after halftime, scored a brace. Mohsen also came in for Boalia, also scored.
That's good.
So
There's something there with Pizzo. You can
and
see
they,
Pizzo
and they were
can.
playing against, in fact, without El Shanawi. You know, El Shanawi was suspended
Yeah.
for this game. Because I think also the mindset of the players
Yeah.
is already
Yeah.
in the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
And I think after this game, they still have another game to come against Pyramids before they...
They fly off
So
to
they,
Qatar.
they're playing
to
Arab
Qatar.
contractor this game?
Yes,
What-
this was Arab contract.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Now you see why Egypt didn't want to play. He will never participate in Chan.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Because we have
No.
yeah
And
we having Chan now, but on the 4th while Chan is still playing, Egyptian will go to play at the World Cup.
Al-Ali is going to
And
play.
this is mismanagement.
No,
This is
Al-Ali,
mismanagement from CAF.
And the best local players. The
No.
queen of the
Jeff, Al-Ali is the one playing against in the World Club tournament.
but
Not the whole. Egyptian.
we know that the backbone of the pharaohs comes from
Al-Ahly.
Al-Ali.
Zamalek,
Oh no, the
Arab contractors.
We're talking about
Oh,
the
the Arab
backbone.
contractor doesn't even exist anymore.
Just the name.
No, they need to qualify to play in that big tournament, the Chan tournament.
No,
the
leave-
big tournament.
Leave Chan out of this.
Yeah, so another interesting story coming out of the presser yesterday was, and this is where I agree with him, Coach Pizzo. And one will say, well, he's saying this now because he's coaching Al Ali or he's taken by Al Ali, but it was to encourage South African coaches to get out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
If there's nothing forthcoming in the PSL, go to Botswana, go to Tanzania, you know, go somewhere in West Africa.
Yeah.
You got Nigeria.
You know, exactly, because coaches, some coaches in South Africa have coached in the CAF Champions League, they've coached in the CAF Confed, and first and foremost, they're Africans.
True.
You know, they'll be better than just a European coming from outside.
Yeah.
There are things that they understand better.
True.
You know,
True.
And this is where, for me, the coaches have to challenge themselves.
Yeah. It's true. We spoke about this last week, you know, with Eric Tinkler, you know, he has been, you know, they link him to a team in Tanzania, which is Simba, you know, and he came out gun blazing that, no, you shouldn't link me with the team, this rubbish, you know, publication and all this stuff, you know. Eric Tinkler. And coach, what's his name? Lassing. They were being linked to Simba in Tanzania.
And he said, don't link me.
No, I didn't say.
Does he know who Simba is?
We spoke about it last week. We said, no, I mean, there's opportunity for a coach. And he has done everything. He has
And
been
you know what?
Pirates.
Coach Peter was very, he
I
was
know.
very
I
clear
know.
on that.
I know.
He was
The,
very
the,
clear on
the
that.
off season, he will take the team to go to Tanzania. He will
Yes.
take the team to
To
go
Zambia.
to the Horn of Africa. He even asked me to organize a tournament in Kinshasa with the Vita DCMP and the Sundowns. This is someone who wants to go out to explore what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, you have to face challenge. You have to face obstacles for you to grow.
Yeah.
But when you stay in the comfort zone, like most of South African coaches, you won't coach anywhere else
Yes.
besides South Africa or maybe Lesotho.
I think one of the coaches that I was impressed with, Thabo.
Snow, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
made a very big decision to go to Lesotho as
Yeah.
the head coach. And if you look at his, you know, performances, they are very positive. He's one for the future. Now, when Pitso comes up and say, we need South African coaches to go and explore on the
Yeah.
African continent. From experience, when he was at Sundowns, the performance of Sundowns is emanating from the fact that they participated in CAF.
Yeah.
That gave them an advantage over the local teams.
Yeah.
So it became almost a formality.
Yeah.
It was the experience of playing in CAF that made them win the championship on the last day.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of going to CAF. Now, when you look at, for example, South African coaches will understand when they get foreign players playing in their various clubs, they will understand the mentality, how they prepare, and everything's different. You understand to handle players differently, and how do you compete when you go to play in Bloemfontein when it's too hot at 3 p.m. You understand how to handle it, because that's what's going to happen in Sudan. You would have had those you know, conditions the same. So that running call, I think, is an eye-opener for any clever coach who wants to aspire to become great. I think he should heed his call and try it. If there's an opportunity that comes about, he should go to Uganda and coach one of the clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see, this is what Coach Pitso was also talking about yesterday, that someone like Eric Tinkler,
Yeah.
he was part of the Pirates team that went to the Champions League final and lost to
TP Mazembe.
to Al Ali in the final.
Yes.
When they beat TP Mazembe, he was part of that.
Oh, yeah.
With Roger Disa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on his own, as the head coach, he reached the CAF Confed final and lost to El Desire. So he's got the credentials.
Yeah.
And that's
And
why his
maybe-
name is being
and-
mentioned.
Yes, exactly. And maybe he's a bit ill-informed about this. Simba plays better than some of the clubs he's coached.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I was reading that Simba
I
is
think-
prepared to pay, I think, more than 15,000 USD for Desabre, but Desabre wants more than that. You know, so I think, yeah. Look,
It's just unfortunately, I mean, some of the coaches, I mean, I can say they're short-sighted in the PSL, but I mean, you need to, as a player, they want the players to go, like we said, I always say about it, you know, the 1996, you know, when most of the South African players that went overseas, they were playing bigger teams in Europe there. So, but, you know, the coaches too, but they too need to, you know, follow that footstep. But Pitso have already showed a sign now with him, you know, taking his bag and going to Al Ahly, not ordinary team. He's going to the biggest team, and there's going
Yeah,
to be
but sometimes we have to
a
start
lot of-
low, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, he has opened the way now. There's going to be a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
The Pitso is facing that.
So started with Sport United.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
no.
remember.
And yesterday
The
he
reason-
was saying
the
this.
reason-
He didn't even start as a coach.
the-
He started as a scout.
Yeah.
The reason I ended up in South Africa was because of Pitso. Pitso recruited me as a defender to come and play for Sport United, and the intention was me to take over from Temba.
Yeah.
And then eventually I think the quota was full, and then he recommended me to Bloemfontein Celtic. That's how I ended up in Bloemfontein Celtic. So his idea of African football, in his analysis in the dressing room, he will sit down and explain to the players, all his players in his squad, whether they leave his team and go to another team, they always become better because they are groomed in that aspect.
Yeah.
You should aspire to play at the highest level.
Yeah.
The highest level on the African continent is CAF Champions League if you're not playing for the national team. So when he's talking about coaches aspiring to go to play in Zimbabwe, for example, you're going to find players playing on their hungry stomach, players who are not being paid. Players who are lacking those resources. How do you manage such group of players? Now, once you come from Zimbabwe and then you come and get a PSL side that is looking after its players being paid well, it's a must that you're going to excel in that area because you don't have other issues that you're managing. So that's where the issue is not about to get the result, is how to manage the players. You manage the players well, the results will be there to show.
Very interesting. As we move to our next story, I think 2 years ago we were excited to see a new Cameroon
CAF president.
yes, a Fecafoot boss, and I think I've met him also in Cairo, Mr. Sido Mbombo Njoya, only to see last week CAF rolling. In fact, CAS, Court of Arbitration for Sport, say they're annulling those elections which were held in 2018. I mean, this was just on the eve of Chan kicking off.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was one story to give a picture of African football, just a day before you host a big tournament,
Thank you for saying
they say, no,
big tournament.
Maybe for Cameroon.
the host FA, icon.
This is total lack of respect from CAS. Because you cannot nullify the result of an election which took place almost 3 years ago.
Back, yeah.
But Jeff, I think I need to put you to order.
Oh, the comrade.
It's one of the amateur clubs. These petitioned CAS. It's not CAS. So they did lodge a complaint. So the process under which Mbabo became the president was fraudulently achieved. So though it has taken so long, justice has been served, irrespective whether it's on the eve of Chan
No,
or
there
not.
are certain, legal matters after certain numbers of days or months or years, it lapses. You cannot come back.
Overtaken by events.
Yeah, you cannot come back.
So now,
They are almost at the end of that term. Just leave them finish that. If you want to, like they did with Mohamed Iya, the first Fecafoot president. They followed him after he quit the office,
but Jeff,
and he was jailed.
why is it Africa always with this
No, because Africa,
globalization
we don't
committees?
respect ourselves. Why are we running to CAS? Why we can't have our own judicial
But
system
where are you
in
going to
terms
go?
of sport?
Your CAF president is
No,
suspended
we
5
can
years.
do that. We can do that. The CAF in conjunction with the African Union, we can set up a body. We can set up a body that can look into our own
African
matters.
Union.
But also
Yes.
remember, this is not just for only football. Court of Arbitration for Sport. It's for
Well, yes, it's for all footballs, yeah, but
no, it's
for all
sporting
sport,
causes,
yes.
global.
But matters from Africa are taking precedent. Why?
No.
We
it's
not discipline ourselves.
No. It's not only African matters. If you go to CAS and you look at the cases which are even on the roll now, or cases which have been decided, it's just that football takes a lot of prominence there. But it's not only African matters. It's a lot of...
No,
I
there are
think we-
a lot
I
of, there
think
are
we
a
are
lot of
lacking-
people with personal agenda. I remember the story with the Russian athlete. Everyone knew about it.
But as you know
But
right now,
yes.
as you know right now, Russia has been suspended.
I know that, but
Yes.
just because someone was protecting them, left the body, left the Olympic Committee, and now it was time to sue them. They knew, all of them, they knew about what is happening in Russia.
But I think where I want us to put it straight is that it's not just, the cases there are not just looking at Africa only. If you go on the roll now, you will see cases that are coming from North America, South America,
But-
Asia.
But very,
You understand?
even if it's Africa only, why is it Africa only? Why are we prominent?
You know,
Why are we prominently featuring under these
There's,
cases?
there's another very interesting story that has just came up this afternoon because CAF has released the full transcript of the outcome of Ahmad. and you know, there's a saying in Xhosa, kuthiwa hey, ulumke ungachazhareli igazi. You must be careful, you know, so that the blood doesn't also,
Yeah, oh.
you know. you understand? Because there's one candidate in these elections. But I want us to finish on this matter. So, where to for Cameroonian football? I mean, how do they get out of this?
Now, you see, the other problem with Cameroonian football, like most of FAs in Africa, maybe the exception of South Africa, as long as the government will be the main financier in those FAs, there will be such problems. That's why I say that we have also to have advocates to talk about African case, because Africa is not like the rest of the world,
But Jeff,
where you see that there are a lot of private sector coming in to put money.
But Jeff,
money
there are
comes
few-
from the
there are-
government.
But look, there are few African FAs that can sustain themselves without government involvement.
like who? It's only South Africa.
This is Africa. The
It's
whole
only South Africa.
The whole African.
actually,
Yes, it is only South Africa.
Actually, when you say it's only South Africa,
Yes.
it's not entirely South Africa.
Who
The
else?
reason why you say only South Africa is because they have managed that relationship well
No.
between the government and the football body.
The Botola
run-
League in Morocco.
So, for me, I would
the
say-
government gives the money.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have to cultivate that relationship that is cordial, so the government will have all the resources to fund sports. One, there is no way the FA can be responsible for putting up the infrastructure. It becomes a huge demand for the FAs. So that's the responsibility of the government. How do you convince them to come on board? That's very important. So we cannot, separate the government from the
Mr.
FA.
Tim is
Yes, yes, we can. Oh, yes, we
It's
can.
difficult. It's difficult
But
to
it's gonna be
convince.
very difficult.
No,
You
we
know,
can.
You see, sometimes FA they cannot do without the government. Most especially going to tournaments, big tournaments.
Yeah.
You know, you go into the Nations Cup, you go into the World Cup. You see the officials that haven't traveled for. I mean, Nigeria is a typical example.
like in-
the officials are more than the players. They're more than.
Yeah.
They want to go
that's
for
very
every
true, but I'm
tournament.
saying
So
we need to establish a cordial relationship.
there's no way you can.
No,
they are the one giving you the
you
money.
can't. No.
Which you want to tell them that?
But I think the point is that here in South Africa,
Yeah.
I know that SAFA doesn't get a cent from government.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's South Africa
SAFA
talking
doesn't,
about.
SAFA
yeah.
doesn't get a
So let's
cent
That's
from
what we
government.
say.
Yeah.
SAFA
You know-
doesn't get anything from the government.
Yes.
The government stands as a guarantee whenever they want to hold to something major.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But you need that involvement, because if the government pulls out from giving the guarantee, then you will not be able even to approach the private sector to fund you in such tournaments.
No, you can.
So what?
We do have in Africa. You know, Africa is full of minerals. We do have shell in Nigeria. They're pumping oil most of the time going there. Why they cannot take that even 5%, giving that to FA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Because that's what I'm
I
saying, Jeff.
think
When
where
you
we have to
have-
be clear is
when-
that
when
here,
you-
here in South Africa,
Yes.
the government doesn't tell the federations who to appoint.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
do this,
Yeah.
do this. You know, but government, what they're looking at is the guidelines.
Yeah.
They say, these are the laws of the country, And if there are issues around transformation which are not going right, the government always reminds them. You know, for instance, when South Africa was supposed to go and play a futsal team in the Western Sahara, the government was very clear. You know the policy of the country when it comes to
To Morocco.
to Morocco and the Western Sahara.
Yeah.
And Safa, they were expelled from the tournament, or they were suspended.
And this is one of the reasons Samuel Eto'o was most of the time, fighting with the sport minister. Because the sport minister said, no, we government, we're putting money there. What can you say to us? This is what's supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying. We need to have a cordial relationship. The political entity wants the so-called control.
Yeah, but that cordial relationship should be backed by laws from FIFA.
No, FIFA won't help.
No, because FIFA say that when government want to do something, interference.
Let me tell you.
But when I give money, there's no interference.
Let me tell you.
Let me give an example.
Let me tell you.
With Nigerian League before it started now,
Yes,
with the COVID test.
So it has started now.
No, we are
Finally.
now with the 5 games played now.
Yeah.
But with the COVID test, because the government were strict on that and say that every team must go have that test.
Yeah.
The FA said we don't have money, we cannot give them. They said now, because Nigeria is every state, they take over the clubs. They say now the government gave them money to do the test.
Yes.
It's
So
government
you see,
again.
they have to run to the government every time. So when they want something, they will intervene.
And the government should be
But that will FIFA say.
protected by FIFA or CAF.
Yeah.
So if because they say that if you give money and you don't have any say in whatever the FA is doing, that's wrong.
No, Jeff, what's happening here when I speak about cordial relationship is here. Every country is a sovereign state. They have got their own laws. They have got their own constitution. Yes, we have got the so-called FIFA.
Remember, if it was like
FIFA,
that, we shouldn't be running to CAS.
Remember FIFA. No, it is simple because FIFA is a government of its own. It's watching out for its own entity, and that's the football body. So as administrators in your FA, you know very well that FIFA will not give you enough funds to be able to run football in the country. So what do? You establish an understanding where you can work hand in hand, because the aim is to develop the game of football in your particular country. So there has to be that cordial relationship. What is happening is we have got vindictive so-called leaders who come into leadership just for their own selfish interests. And once it's not going their own way, then they run to CAS. And that's why we're having a problem. So we need to identify what is the purpose. The purpose is football development in your particular country. Leave FIFA out first and foremost, and then develop that leadership within your own country, and then FIFA will join you. That's it.
But they need to be protected by laws, the government. Because most of the time, the problem with Mbombo from Cameroon, it's also government, because there's some officials from the department, from the Ministry of Sport, who were not happy since the beginning, because Antoine Bell was kicked out. His application was not considered.
Yes.
So they've been pushing that agenda to get Mbombo out and his team.
That's true. Same with the
Because they give money.
Yes.
Same with Sierra Leone, because you have got an individual who is being fronted by the government entity that is going to be used to take funds. And now when you get a football person and saying no, that becomes a problem. So you have to establish that. What is interesting is the Secretary General is now the interim Secretary General for this normalization committee. So,
but how many times Cameroon is going? Why that that standing committee is more prevalent in Africa than in any other continent? How many times Cameroon is going to have that normalizing?
It's a shame, because when we speak about
even it should be 6 times now.
It is a big shame, because now if we speak about Cameroon, that should be shining star for African football. They should be at the forefront, given their success in football in African
true.
So it's a very big shame that we are discussing about the normalization committee in Cameroon, a country hosting.
And when we sit on the
a friendly tournament in the
Cameroon case, it is
Cameroon.
that's what one of the reasons that the state doesn't want to be involved a lot in football anymore, like they used to do. That's why we don't have Kano Yaounde anymore. And that was the what can I say, the flag of Cameroon Cameroon club football.
And at
There
some
are no
stage,
more.
and at some stage, they were relegated. Eh?
They were yes, they were
Yes.
relegated.
Yeah.
3 times African champions.
Relegated.
Yeah, so not only in Champions League, but also in Winners' Cup and CAF Confederation. But where are they now today?
Well. We talk about things in Cameroon, and I can tell you in Cameroon, that's where things have been happening, because that's where all the 4 candidates who are running for the CAF presidency have been for the past week or so, including the South African Patrice Motsepe, Ahmed Yahya from Mauritania, Augustin Senghor from Senegal.
Reserve candidate.
Who's the reserve candidate?
Motsepe and Yahya.
Why are you calling them reserve candidates?
Well, they are reserved because, you know what? Because Motsepe and Yahya have accepted, they've given the guarantee to Infantino that if one of them is elected, they're going to take Fatma Samura as the Secretary General.
Designate.
Anuma and Senghor said, no, we don't want her.
No, with the elections, there has to be alliances. They are welcome.
With Jacques Anoma there, I want to start with you. On a scale of 4 to 1, I don't want to say 1 to 4. In fact, no, not a scale, but counting from the chances. There are 4 candidates.
Yeah.
And I just want us to get us through this first. But because there's something very important that's I'm going to discuss with you now. And I see this pointing at one candidate. By the look of things, by the time we get to the elections, there could be 3.
Yeah, it's getting tough now.
From number 4, up, and motivate. Mention them, your top 4, and motivate.
I'll start with for me, I'll start with my number 1.
No.
No.
You don't change the rules.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I may not be very much interested in
number 2 going down doesn't matter.
I may not be very much interested in the other 3.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay.
So we don't take much. Because
Okay.
The others have been part and parcel of this football game.
Correct.
So we have got a new entrant, and that is Patrice. Given his credentials, for example, he's a businessman, successful businessman, doing business in over 40 countries, and those are African countries. If I look at that, I'm looking at the youth that are being employed, and then soccer is played by the youth. So if his business credentials and contacts are going to come on board to try and grow football on the African continent, so be it. I'm looking at his leadership of Sundowns. From the time he took over, he transformed Sundowns, not only in South Africa, but on the African continent. So if given an opportunity, I believe that he can try to give us better leadership than the one who has been suspended 5 years, the first CAF president to be suspended in the history of CAF.
With Motsepe, his detractors point to the fact that he doesn't have experience of having ran an FA.
Why you call them detractors?
Because they are against him.
Yeah, me too. I might be against him, but I'm not his detractor.
No. Using the word against, I think doesn't augur well.
Yes.
What we should say that preference. The preferences, because they will always be there.
Yeah.
When you speak about Motsepe Foundation is sponsoring the ABC League. That's in relation with SAFA. So in a way, it's playing the administrative role of the federation in that league. So there was no opportunity for him to serve SAFA. SAFA handpicked him and said, listen, I think you can be the head of football in South Africa as our nominee. So that doesn't anchor well. Yes, you'll always have to try and find reason why against something. But over and above, you can't explain why you've been on the CAF Executive Committee. And then we remember that we are not watching CHAN. We are not watching the African Champions League.
100%.
Because you as a member of the
with
executive
these
committee,
experienced football administrators we've had.
they cancelled the deal. So we are starved of football. So you being in administration, we're asking, what have you offered us? What is it that we can show that you are different from this one who has not been there? So I think in a way, we need to weigh what are your successes, what are your contributions, and then we make a decision.
Mike, for me, I see Senghor. Senghor is got, because West Africa is divided in two, he's got both 1 and 2, because West Africa is so huge. And we talk about now, so Portuguese-speaking people, French-speaking people, and English-speaking people.
West Africa has got 9-7. 9-7 numbers, yes.
Yeah. And he's got them in his pocket. And also,
Are you sure?
Yes,
Are you 100% sure?
Yes,
I don't
I'm
think so.
100%. And also the Maghreb region. And that's where Yaya was also trying to pick some of the people who will vote for him. But Morocco and Nigeria, they don't want to vote for Yaya. Because I knew already that for Morocco it will be a Senghor.
I know that the vote of Egypt and Algeria is somewhere else.
Well, it can change because the people do change.
yeah.
Well, people
Yeah.
do change.
Getting closer
and
to that
when
time.
we came,
Pinnick is somewhere.
No, Pinnick is one way. He's
Pinnick is West Africa.
he's coming one
So
side.
Pinnick is West
yeah,
Africa.
he's
We
West
have
Africa.
don't count
Ghana,
that
we have
vote.
got Ghana, Togo.
And they
where
went
do
to
you
visit
come-
him.
And when you count Nigeria, also count
the same-
Benin's vote.
The same applies to Motepe because Motepe doesn't call for unity within COSAFA, not even SECAFA too. So he has been weakened by his own region, and he doesn't have power to convince SECAFA. But I know that Senghor has that power, and Senghor being
Why do you think he's got that power, Senghor?
because
in East
Senghor,
Africa?
I'm coming there. Senghor being the executive member of CAF, he knows all the contours of the organization, and he has spoken to most of them. That's why when he was asked to go to Cameroon, he said he will go to Cameroon because he is an African and the tournament is taking place there, but he's not there to campaign because he has already done his homework and he's really much confident that he can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
You know,
interesting.
you know what is very
But I
interesting?
think,
When it comes to SECAFA,
Me and you must have some coffee. I think you need an update.
For me, I mean, all the candidates are there. I mean, they deserve to be there, but you need to choose one. Come on the 12th of March. Jack Anoma, for me, I think he has been under the system for a very long time. You know, former FAO president.
No, but he came out. He's out. He's no more there involved. Jack Anuma. He was out.
Okay.
He was no more a member of executive.
Yes, yeah, no, he was
I mean,
out.
for
He
years.
was out.
Yeah. But for me, I think he knows the in and out. I mean, he knows where to touch the button to press because I think with the election coming closer now, you need to touch and press the right buttons. You know, some people can promise in your face that come the election, you know, we're going to vote for you and come. You know, we saw it with South African hosting the tournament. You know, but this one is going to be a crucial one. We need people that can take African football to the right place. That's
Very interesting. I like the fact that, okay, you cannot ask the host. You cannot ask the host. I like the fact that you are all divided. No one is saying supporting this one and this one and this one. But there's another candidate that you are not mentioning. Obviously, there's only 3 of you, and you can only come up with one candidate. Today, FIFA today they released the full decision in terms of the full transcript of the decision of the Education Chamber on when they came up with this decision to suspend Ahmad. And there's a point there that has been highlighted, and this one is it's a bit long, but I'm going to read it. They are saying the flights paid by Mr. Ahmad and the overall invitation to the Umrah can amount to a form of incitement, given these gifts are offered to persons of whom Mr. Ahmad's re-election as CAF president depended. And as such, these gifts were likely to be in contravention of their duties to create an undue pecuniary or other advantage, and to create a conflict of interest with respect to inter alia their capacities as voters in future CAF elections. And in addition to the amount of 10,000 USD, which Mr. Ahmad dispersed from his personal finances in order to cover the return flights of the participants, Mr. Ahmad also used CAF as a proxy to bear and to pay most of the expenses related to the Umrah pilgrimage, amounting to 91,314 USD. And they go further to say, by any standard, this amount would fail to be seen as trivial or symbolic amount. So this inclusion is drawn from the fact that no credible football-related, in this case, reason, no written evidence has been presented to justify President's stopover in Egypt, accommodation at the hotel, apart from the gathering of all participants in Cairo to facilitate the administrative and logistical aspects of the ensuing pilgrimage. This is serious. For Ahmed Yahya, for me, this is saying, run Ahmed Yahya, run away from the elections.
Don't even go there. Don't even get closer to there, because there's a lot of things that
It is something which has been. I don't agree with that. Not at all.
Why, Jeff?
But it's there.
Jeff,
He gave.
He has not denied.
Yeah.
That's for
He
sure.
was there.
Yeah. No, those things happen.
It depends on the interpretation that those guys gave to that engagement.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is the bad interpretation.
Because
when he gave money, because they're saying that it's seen as trivial. It's according to them. That is the interpretation.
But this is evidence that has been presented. In
what's happening?
and remember, these people have got documents that come from the CAF staff members.
But there's some can be
who
said
reported
about
the case.
But there's some can be also said about Fatma Samura when she came to CAF. Who took care of her?
No, but now we're discussing this.
Who took care of her?
No.
Now we're discussing this particular matter.
No, that was designate. It was known. It was known.
Yeah.
You understand? It was known and it was accommodated within the laws of CAF.
Within the laws of CAF.
Yes.
You remember
Now-
that
now-
most of
now-
the symposium,
now-
most of the symposium from CAF were organized in Morocco, and the Moroccan government did give also money to those delegates that were going there. If Legia did say that I want to be the candidate for the presidency of CAF, where the very same people who are going to say that the government of Morocco didn't give did that.
They were not CAF funds.
They don't take into account our culture as African to give gift as well.
Thank you. Just say, I visit you. Say, thank you for coming.
No,
It's
please.
this culture that this culture that is making us end up at CAS all the time.
Yeah.
So it's high time we dish this CAS.
No, but because we don't talk, we don't make our voice heard by CAF. But this is how it works in Africa.
Okay. Can we stop with that point now and move on?
No, we can't.
No. We can.
No, we shall be found one.
No, because for me, I still say that this is the interpretation, because they say it has been seen as trivial.
Yes,
this is the connotation that they give to that.
But Jeff,
It is according to them,
Jeff.
and they want us to.
Sorry, my follow-up point. I want to take the discussion forward.
Yes, I'm not a supporter of Ahmad. I'm not a supporter of Ahmad.
No.
But I heard the way he's been treated.
Okay.
No.
The follow-up point. No. They were taking the matter forward now. Now, the CAF governance committee had said Ahmed Yahya and Mutsipe must come for additional checks. Obviously,
But additional check has been determined by CAS.
No.
Yes, CAS said to the governors, to the CAF governance body.
But now, you remember what the follow-up that came from the emergency committee to say this goes to FIFA integrity. Because these four candidates, they are also going for a CAF president automatically becomes
the vice
a
president.
vice president at FIFA.
Oh, yes, I know.
So the FIFA ethics committee does the checks.
No. The FIFA should do the check
Yeah.
once the president has been elected. They have to do the check.
No,
but-
it didn't happen like that before.
Yeah, but-
because there's the FIFA Council. There's the FIFA Council member. Those who are vying for FIFA Council, their
There's a-
checks are being done.
We don't have leaders. You know, I still regret
No, no, no.
Tesema.
No,
Tesema, when they say to Tesema that if you refuse to participate in qualifiers between you, Asia, and Oceania, CAF will be suspended for 5 years. They say yes. I want that suspension. But 6 months later, it was lifted.
Yeah, but the issue here is that
We need people with guts.
this additional
Yes,
checks. because
and
now-
one of those has
So-
recently been.
Yeah, so now it's clear. It's clear, one person at a time. It's clear now in terms of what the CAF governance wanted to do.
Yeah.
They wanted to ask about this.
Yeah.
And now, FIFA, some people are very systematic there at FIFA. They are releasing this now, ahead of next week. Because now for Yaya, this is
Really, please, guys, let's think rationally. Don't put emotions according to what we read.
Yes.
Because among the member of the governance body, there are people who are vying to be at the FIFA executive committee. They had to do what FIFA is telling them to do.
But Jeff,
Yeah, I don't have trust in those
yes,
people.
no. The issue here is not about. I'm interested what has been raised. Now we have not heard Ahmed denying the fact of what is being said. There is no single day when he has denied his involvement in
Why?
using CAF funds.
No, I don't say that he should deny it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
No.
saying. So is he guilty?
Guilty according to whom?
According to the ethics,
Because
the FIFA ethics.
they are defining his actions according to them.
No, according to the ethics code of conduct of FIFA.
What I don't understand is that why we did subject ourselves to CAF, to FIFA, because CAF is not the member of FIFA. FSR.
No.
Why? Because we.
by the
weak.
way,
We are very weak.
The chairperson of the
We are very weak because we have no leaders.
The chairperson of the CAF governance committee, he comes from Cote d'Ivoire, same
Yes.
country as
Bizri Zay.
yes, and Michel
Bizri.
Zobi, same country as Jacques Anouma. So we don't know, maybe he's an enforcer. I don't know.
So,
Story for
yeah.
another day.
Let me tell you, that guy he doesn't like Anouma. Because Anouma was very acquainted with the former president of Cote d'Ivoire, Laurent Gbagbo. And that's why he's hated in those people. But those guys who came into power now, they don't like him. They don't like him.
They're
If
being-
it was according to the government, Anouma was not going to be the candidate.
But they endorsed it.
Yeah.
And it was the Minister of Sport
Who
who endorsed
endorsed it is the FA. It is
No,
the FA.
but government even came out later. They were also even availing their resources to support him.
Maybe they make peace already, miss.
Well, yeah, but they didn't like him. He was really close with Gbagbo.
Yeah. So my question was to you, vis-a-vis what CAF has been saying, do you allow the additional checks to go ahead next week on the 28th?
Yes, I want Ahmad, and I want him to be.
No. Forget about Ahmad. Because already with him, there are no additional checks.
Yeah.
It's already been concluded that he's out by CAF.
No, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what Jeff is saying.
No.
about Ahmed.
Let's stop it there because we're dealing with officialities.
He's not my favorite guy.
I
mind you.
understand.
Yeah.
But for me, if you are wrong, you are wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
But-
No, wrong
Individually.
according to whom?
Yeah.
Who define
According-
what's wrong and what's
According
not?
to the FIFA Ethics Committee.
No.
Because with Motsepe, from what I'm gathering, there is nothing else with the. They want to ask about the party. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And what if those guys, they tell this guy who will interview them on the 28th that no, it was just a gesture of appraisal. This is how things are done in Africa. What would they say? No, according to ethics from FIFA, we don't do this. But this is South Africa.
They don't want us to say thank you. Eddie.
No, which thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Who wants to say that?
Which thank you.
No, but you see,
Every-
Jeff,
No.
Jeff made
Every
a very
time-
important question. He did ask, why is it Africans always at CAS? It's because of this thank you of yours.
No, thank you is a different one.
No,
no,
forget the thank you.
No.
There's
When
thank
I
you.
go-
If it's
I
not
went-
accommodated within the law, please forget it.
In 2019, I went to Congo Brazzaville, and I heard that Ndomba Geometre, that's why he's been called the winner, the African Cup of Nations winner in '72, is now the president of the FA. I said, oh, I want to meet him. He's a legend.
Yes.
And I did everything. They took me to his office.
Yes.
But when I left, he took $1,000 he gave me.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
But
So
that,
will you-
but that was his personal money, right?
So but when you
It wasn't
contest,
for the
when
no,
you go to contest now, you bring
that's not federation money. And there was no audit that raised the
Yeah, but
red
when
flag.
he read when he read the whatever the
$10,000
yeah, but they said that from his own financial.
was part, no.
That was Kefo's money.
No. You said that a calf stood. If you can go back, you did say that.
It's
when
Kefo's
you
money.
No,
It's Kefo's money.
you know
He
what?
doesn't have money, that one.
You know, the fact of the matter is, if I was Ahmed
Yeah.
for once, I would take every opportunity offered to me to say, yes, I erred.
No,
but you see why I said that it is
It's as
biased.
simple as that.
When
we rehabilitate him so that we don't lose him.
when Ahmad was the Malagasy FA president, he was involved with the Binaman. And it
Yes,
was
yes.
proven. It
Yes,
was
yes,
proven.
yes, yes.
Why was he not suspended by that time? Because he was in good books with Infantino.
Infantino,
It was not.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
not raised. No.
No, it was raised.
It was raised.
raised.
It was raised.
This is what is interesting. This is what is interesting.
It was raised.
It was raised.
This is what
It was raised when Kalusha was suspended.
Yeah.
And
The wristwatch.
Yes.
No.
He was.
When it was raised, it was raised in the corridors.
No. It was all over the media.
What
It was all over the media.
corridors of FIFA or CAF?
Just like
The
Kalusha
corridors-
said. Just like Kalusha said, he's not the
No.
only one who received the.
It was all over the media.
No, okay.
The media never presented a
We
case
move on.
to
we move
CAS.
on. I'm a typical African leader today. I'm a dictator. We move on. We move on. We move
You
on.
present to CAS the case, not in the media.
This thing has been infiltrated. There are people who are against the advancement
Yeah.
of African football.
We take free kicks now. The decision to award the 2022 African Cup of Nations, Women's African Cup of Nations, I think for me it's a good decision because for 2020, CAF was struggling to even have a host country. So Morocco.
Once again.
Morocco, they are the sugar daddies of Africa. They are our blessers.
But for me, I think it's a good place to host it. I mean, where can you host
It's not
it?
about being a good place.
No, I mean, to host a proper tournament, you need to get a proper tournament, like the way the Chan. You didn't speak about Chan today. Chan is not taking place.
We know
want
why.
to know what's happening in group stages and everything.
we know why we never
That's where
spoke
the
about
home-based coaches.
We are not
That's
done.
where the local
We are not
coaches.
done.
We spoke about Al Hilal going to.
Okay, let's allow him.
No, I was saying, I mean, it's a good place to host. I mean, if they can host it, why not? You know, so I think it's a good decision.
It's a good decision.
Yeah.
And also I think given what Morocco has also been doing in terms
What a
of
good decision is that? For me, that tournament shouldn't even exist in the first place.
which one?
Oh,
The African women, whatever, AFCON.
Jeff,
It's like
why?
you say that we're not nations.
Why, Jeff?
I
Why?
like how serious you are.
No.
I'm waiting
Okay,
for his reason.
let's listen to
I'm
him.
We
listening.
don't.
Let's-
don't. How many countries do have women league in Africa? How many countries?
There are few. We don't make five.
No, we don't
But-
make five.
We don't make
out
five.
of 54.
Yes.
We
No,
don't
no,
make
no, no.
five.
There are more than five. With
Who?
leagues.
Who else?
There are more than five.
Nigeria?
I can count for you. Tanzania, Zambia,
Uganda.
Uganda, South Africa.
Yeah. South Africa. only
Nigeria,
started
put
last year.
Nigeria here.
No. There have been leagues here. Nigeria, Algeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
When the
They
men's league
used
just
to
started.
have, but it was stopped.
Up to now, they know it started
Yeah.
now. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
on.
they used.
Are you
it
sure?
was-
We're
It
talking
was,
about-
it was
No,
stopped.
it's on. It's
Algeria.
on. It's on.
Yeah.
Morocco and
Yeah.
Morocco, they have just even remodified it, improved it with a lot of money as
Yeah.
well.
They're
So
not even
I'm
10.
already
No, it's
counting
okay, it's
eight.
okay.
No, they're not
It's
even
okay,
10.
it's okay for
Yes,
them.
yes.
It's okay
Yeah.
for
That's
them.
the first one. The second one. There is no CAF Women Champions League. There's no
It's
Confed Cup.
supposed to start
No,
this
no,
year.
no. There
It's
is
supposed
not.
to start this
There
year.
is not. So
Yes.
on basis of what do we have
The
to
leak.
stage?
Jeff, we have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
No, that's why I always say that even if there are 5 countries, let's start the Women Club Champions League. Even if there are 3, let's start.
With the
and more
Women
countries
Champions League.
will
Will
take
join in.
interest. Yes.
Yes, that's very true. And at least you have not said ban. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
They want to
thankful
ban-
you
not to ban the
you-
tournament.
You have changed. No, we can't ban women.
You can't ban the
Because
tournament.
we can't survive without
No,
women.
no, I'm
Yeah.
saying, no,
So
I'm
we
talking,
need the
I'm
women to
talking
play
about
soccer.
the leagues.
Yes.
I'm talking about the leagues, and after the leagues, we have to have a Champions League, Confed Cup,
Yeah.
just like the women.
And the men.
Like the men.
And
No,
the men.
Yeah, no. This year,
At least-
remember, this year is it's supposed to start.
Look in Europe at UEFA.
Yeah.
It's very professionally done.
But we get there, Jeff. We're gonna
Yeah.
get there. We're
Yeah,
gonna
no,
get
but
there.
Jeff,
We're
we
gonna
must
get
not
there.
always
We have to
compare
start-
ourselves to
no,
Europe.
we have to copy the
we
best.
have.
No, they don't. But they don't have the challenges we
But
have.
we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No,
we
no,
have to copy
no,
what
but,
the
but we
others
don't.
have
But
done
we don't have the.
already.
They don't have the challenges we have.
Like traveling.
Yes.
Yeah,
We can envy them, but we must be
Yeah, but
realistic.
that's
No, no,
what. But we can do it and adapt it
we
to
have-
our realities.
The fact
we can
of-
take it to
the
South
fact-
Africa.
The fact of the matter, whether you want to do it the African way, is never successful. We have to measure ourselves with the best.
No,
That's
but
a
you can be
given.
successful. Jeff just said that you can bring it to South Africa.
Yes,
you
we can bring
play
them
one
here,
in
we
one
can bring
in one
them,
stage.
yes.
When it's in
To
South
cut
Africa,
the traveling
it does,
expenses.
it does not mean it's
on that note,
successful.
on that note, the dictator now comes back. Chan. And the latest, Masasi has just got a beauty,
Oh,
a
equalizer.
late beauty, a last-minute equalizer.
Wow.
Happy?
No, I don't like it. Why should I be happy?
Ah, no, man.
No, but,
Jeff, you must give.
but your country has
I'm
equalized.
watching it. I'm watching it. I don't watch it
I
from
love
home.
his honesty.
Yeah.
No, 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 no.
accommodate that
No.
Yes, I'm watching it, but I'm not happy with the tournament because it's too much expensive when it comes to our government. Because we, like in Congo, people have been the civil servant. They're on strike. Why? Because there's money for TP Mazembe, there's money for Vita, there's money for the national team,
Yeah.
but there's no money to pay the civil servant because the government is giving money. They
No,
most of
but
the time.
Jeff, they're supporting them to
No,
go play, to do their
please,
sports.
please.
But
the
Jeff-
only thing that I'm
but
happy
Mr.
about
Tafia,
it,
why is
it's,
Nigeria there?
The absence of VAR. That's the only thing that.
But
I'm
it's
happy
coming.
about
It's
it.
coming in the
Yeah.
local stages.
I know it's going to delay it. It's not a good thing.
Always,
No, but for me,
always
no.
calf comes after.
No.
Yeah.
Always after.
Okay.
There
For
is
me,
no problem.
please
There is
give
no
me
problem
opportunity.
with the
Just
head of
one
government.
person at a time.
Give me
please.
opportunity, please. For me, this tournament is a great.
When Nigeria
win.
cannot even feature.
It's fine.
Wait,
I'm not,
let
we,
him
it's
talk.
not only Nigeria, need to play there. Uganda, they played. They could even score a goal.
But they play.
So, yeah, but they got 1 point. They'll go out now. Second game, they lose, they go out. But for a serious note, I mean, the opening game was a good one. I really enjoyed that game. It was my opportunity to watch that game. Cameroon scoring the
Zimbabwe.
against Zimbabwe, scoring the 72 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, with a beautiful goal.
Have you
man,
watched
beautiful.
other games?
I watched other games. Goals, it was a little bit short with goals, but you can give credit to the coaches and the players and tactical discipline from both sides. That's why we need those coaches that are locally based to go to this tournament to prove themselves so that they can get opportunity to go like the likes of Piso. But I think it's a good tournament. A lot of players. As we said it last week. It's the last 2 weeks. We talked about only one team can be there for scouting now, which we feel like is Sundance. Other teams should go there to scout players. I'm talking about the PSL.
Yes.
You see,
For
so
Sundowns, I think they've got 2 scouts there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ndolo, I think.
So I mean, you can easily get good players there that you can take them from to be from the local base player to become superstars in Europe. And the player I saw from Cameroon who scored that goal, I think that for me in particular, I just think he's gonna be a great star. And Cameroon team is very strong. Don't forget the Zambian team too.
Yeah, the Zambian team is strong. I was also on paper. The Morocco team is very good as well. I was a bit disappointed with some of the matches. To be
Yeah.
The Uganda Rwanda
Like the
game
Uganda
was-
one, yeah.
The quality was.
That's why Uganda need to produce more good players from their from their leagues there, so that they can compete with the other national teams, the senior ones, the
we
overseas
need
players.
the funds that are being spent on Chan,
Yeah.
because the core of CHAN. You know, we're talking about the national team.
Oh, yes.
The national team should be the cream.
Yeah.
We should not have two national teams. No. Yes, because if you have
So when if you okay, you have a club, you must have academy to feed that senior team.
no, what we're talking.
So is a CHAN?
Craig,
CHAN is like the
Craig,
feed that is
let me
one
give-
that feed
Craig,
guys
let me
that
give you
come
an,
from overseas.
Craig, let me give you an example that is very clear. It's like having the Super Eagles
Yeah,
playing friendly games with players from the local league
yeah, they do that.
to measure themselves to go and compete at the World Cup.
No.
Does it make sense?
So what are you saying now? So the CHAN tournament is out of the equation that if you
No,
use
what
those
I-
players
what
to
I-
play,
what I'm
it makes
trying-
sense.
what I- what I'm trying to say-
If you prepare with
what
the local based players, they will give you more good games. We're talking about players that want to be like you, players that want to go to the senior national team, which I mean the overseas
No,
players.
but
You understand? They were
I
coming
came from
there.
the local
So,
league. Etafe, you came from the local league
yeah.
to come over to South Africa. You came from the local league. So what is
Not everyone.
No. What is paramount at this moment in time?
Yeah.
Is for every FA
Yeah.
to strengthen their leagues.
Timothy, not
They
every,
should
not everyone
strengthen their leagues
be
to be
opportunity
very
like you.
competitive. No,
Not everyone will
no.
have that opportunity
No.
or pistol to go and bring you from
No,
Uganda to
the
South Africa.
opportunity- the
Someone
opportunity-
will play in CHAN.
One person
Someone
at a
will be at CHAN, play well in the tournament, and come to South Africa or go to Europe.
No.
So everyone cannot be like Timothy.
How do you end up in
Maybe
CHAN?
for instance, I score because the national team
But
gives you that
Etafe,
opportunity.
how do you end up in CHAN?
Because you're good enough in your league.
So the local league has to be well financed,
Thank you.
well, developed.
How do you
grown,
measure
And
how-
then we can have these local players breaking into the national team to compete at the AFCON.
No,
Now, we
Mr.
should
Team.
not-
No,
we-
Mr.
we
Team.
should
How
not-
do you measure these boys straight to the senior national team without testing them in those tournaments?
But how-
You want to take a player because he's performing well in the
we,
league.
we don't have regional tournament. They can test them.
This is Sekafa.
CHAN is
There's Kosafa.
CHAN is for me. CHAN is the best way for you to market yourself in terms of going to Europe, in terms of going to to make other opportunities.
Listen,
because not
for CHAN,
everyone.
Europe
CHAN-
doesn't have the
No,
don't buy right to CHAN.
Jeff is forgetting that CHAN makes other countries miss out
Yeah.
because they have to qualify. When you compete
So-
in the regional tournaments, each and every country is mandatory to participate. So you have got the platform.
So if you're not playing well, if you don't need you want to say that okay because because we are playing this region, so we must qualify.
If CHAN-
No, compete to qualify. That's why CHAN is good. You compete. If you're not good enough, your league is not strong enough. It shows at CHAN there.
So would you say that Egypt is not competing because they are not good
No,
enough?
you say that they're going. The whole national team is going to play world
No,
tournament.
because the backbone of the national team is by those guys who should have.
No, there's Zamalek there. There's Arab Contractors. There's
But
Pyramid there.
Egypt never played in CHAN. Never ever.
Maybe it's their choice not to.
And
play.
South Africa
No, they don't qualify.
and the end-
South Africa don't
the
qualify.
CAF headquarters are in
the men
Egypt.
players playing for the national team, the real national team that goes to AFCON.
But you can still produce other players in the league. We have good
Yeah.
They
players.
send them
well-
to them to Kosafa. They are there. They're going to Kosafa.
For me, I think CHAN is the best way, to test yourself. South Africa is
Very,
Yeah,
you see, one last thing for me. Even at CAF level, at CAF award level, there were also this award, which was the best African-based player.
Yeah.
And that has been scrapped.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Prescribed,
They
yes.
say it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
That there should be only one golden ball, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
Ballon d'Or. Only one.
That is from CAF.
But
Yes.
That's from CAF.
But we
it
don't
used
have-
to be there.
and
It used to be there, but they scrapped it.
and the CAF is hosting the CHAN tournament.
In the champions.
you don't have the president of CAF. No. You guys.
CAF is hosting the CHAN.
And
And they
was it-
scrapped the award of best
For me-
African best
So that's
player.
why we need a change
For
in
me,
leadership.
really, it was a beautiful opening ceremony we witnessed in Cameroon.
This man loves
and,
CHAN.
I mean, it's a beautiful. I'm so happy to.
China is a waste of time. Sorry.
No, it's not. How can you say it's a waste of time?
Yeah. Well, the final discussion for today
No, please.
No,
It's not a waste of time.
No.
There's players there, good players there you can get. Why Saunders is there?
Do you want to speak alone?
No. Saunders is there.
You want to speak alone?
Saunders is there to scout players. You say chance is a waste of time. No. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
It's fine. It's 1 against 3.
Okay.
It's fine.
3-1. Open the door for you. Open debate. Well, the final discussion, the situation of referees, you know, and I know that you've got problems with VAR,
Yeah.
but I think the South African situation has reached a point where, because our FA is, I don't want to say they're in denial. They are just too defensive when it comes to these things. You know, I interviewed the chairperson of the referees committee, Ms. Natasha Tsiklas, last month in December. And she was still defensive about this. And again now, her statement this afternoon, to be honest, it's not inspiring. You know, it's not really giving confidence in terms of what to expect. You know, because I feel that she's running away from the real issues. And now, if the leadership is like this, it makes you worry. It makes seriously you worry to say, are these people in denial about what needs to be done? Because honestly, the standard of match officials were coming up. The gap between them and some of those who've been there, it's too big.
Look, it's very big, and it normally trickles down to the quality of the game, to the quality of the product that is going to end up being displayed. Because we are privileged in football that you can't explain, because we are all watching. So there is no you can come with a microphone to try and explain how good you are, because we are the witnesses. We are able to see everything in black and white. So no matter which English, French, whatever you will try to come up with, we see there is a problem. So there's nothing wrong to acknowledge that there is a deficit in what is expected. I think that shows great leadership once you take ownership. And then you promise that we recognize and we are going to make sure that the standard is improved. We are going to do A and B. It's not a crime to fall behind in the standard set, but you need to recognize the fact that you are lagging behind, and then you jack up and you improve the game. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to talk about the rest of Africa because I know that they're lacking funds most of the time. But in case of SAFA, what does SAFA do with the money they get? Why they cannot establish, because they have means to do that, establish a working relationship with the FA in England, for example, to send some of the referee, the top 10 for about 1 month or 2 months, and then after a year another group will go. Why they cannot do
Jeff,
that?
They've just signed a new sponsorship deal
Yeah,
with Showmax.
you see? And the first one of Outsurance.
Yes. Outsurance was 10 million rand a season.
Yeah.
I don't know what the...
The
I think
referees,
those were peanuts. But now, it's 100% increase.
So they
Fro-
haven't.
from
They have
know,
enough resources
Exactly.
to send the professional referees
And-
to
and do- and do
seminars
more.
and
Really,
workshops
are the
and
referees
outside.
on a permanent?
No,
No,
they're not.
you see?
No, they are
I
not.
think that's also very important to
Yeah.
try and consider,
Yes.
just to
Yes.
get
Yes.
them on
Yes.
They have to make them on payroll every
the
month.
permanent,
They're getting
you know,
a pay.
yes.
Because
No.
SAFA is not giving money to clubs like in Africa.
Yes.
It's a Premier League.
Yes, and
Yeah.
also some,
and at them, it's only the national team, all national teams.
and the regions as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
They need to manage.
I think the other thing with SAFA, this is something they seriously need to review. If they still need 52 regions,
That's too much.
it's too much. You know,
It's a lot.
SAFA comes from the era of they had 25 regions, then moved from 25 regions to 52 regions. They moved to 52 regions because they were following the demarcations. Because there's 52 district municipalities and metros. But it's too much.
Yes, it is too much.
It's too much.
For me, they should send You know, South Africa can manage to send professional referees on a regular workshop seminars.
Yeah, no. I just feel that on the point that you've just raised now, because also SAFA, the 20 million rand a season that I'm talking about, they are not paying the referees that are officiating professional matches. Those referees are receiving stipends and match allowances from the PSL.
Oh, no. You know, PSL is mounting in terms of stature, and the referees are not, they don't make them professionals. They should have a payroll. Every month they know where to get the
And
money.
remember, with all the changes that SAFA has been doing, even in terms of retrenching people, cutting numbers, even the referees department has also been affected by it.
Sure.
They become very vulnerable.
Exactly. That's why there's always this type of case.
Yeah.
For me, I just think, you know, it's on the field, you know, which, I mean, affects a lot of clubs. You know, a lot of clubs, they lose points which they're not supposed to lose, and some of them will be relegated, some of them will get win the championship, some of them will be in top 8. I just think it's not fair.
Last the season when I saw Orlando Pirates against Highland Park,
Yeah.
that
The
offside,
upside,
which
you can see, you don't know. So you can imagine, you know, Orlando Pirates against Highlands Park, that offside, you imagine how
I mean,
How do you
there's
miss it?
the offside call of Celtic this week.
this,
I mean,
that's
Yeah.
the typical one, the recent one.
the recent one.
And the player was right in front of the last man.
And the last man was
Like,
watching.
He was watching the game. He was.
So the linesman was offside.
No. I mean, your positional play. I mean, okay, I don't know. I'm not a professional in that aspect, but they know how to position themselves so they can get up angle. But the guy is in front. You know, I just feel, you know.
And you know-
Why they were saying, because overheard that they were saying that they were also making some feasibility studies to introduce VAR. How can you introduce VAR when your own referees are not looked after properly?
Yeah.
Because VAR costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
look, the issue of VAR is not just going to be SAFA only. The money, I think, because remember, after all, in fact, I think this is what our people need to understand. Because sometimes people tend to think that SAFA and PSL are two separate bodies. PSL is a special member of SAFA. So PSL is SAFA in this case.
No.
So the special member, because they are the professional league, they've got the money, surely they are going to subsidize part of this. You understand? Because there's the money from that side. It has to happen. But the issue now is that the quality, it's not PSL that is producing referees. It's SAFA.
It's a suffer, yeah.
You know? And that's where this thing has to be. But if the head of referees, which is the chairperson of the referees committee, is in denial,
Yeah, but PSL
then we're
can,
not going anywhere.
But PSL can raise that as well because it's dwindling their standard of football.
No,
Because
I think those discussions are there already.
Yeah.
I think those discussions are there
see,
already. But I think they need an extra push.
You know, the point of
Because-
contention is when the head of the referees is in denial, then whatever discussions we are having, they are not making sense at this moment.
What if he's been told to say that? Even if it is against
we
his
don't
will.
know. Whoever is telling you and you also come and say that, then it means you have a problem. Not the person who is telling you to say that.
No, but also, even if she can be in denial, it doesn't stop us from discussing that.
Yeah.
And telling her that they are wrong.
I think
Because we are the public. We are the people who... Because SAFA is not a club belonging to someone. It's a national body.
True.
Where all of us, we are allowed to raise our opinions about what is happening there. And this thing needs to stop.
It's true.
And I can tell you where it is already hitting South Africa. For a very long time now, there are only 2 officials. I think for 2-3 years running now, there are only 2 officials who are officiating matches, big matches on the continent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
Zakhele Siwela
and
and
Gomez.
Victor Komsch. Only. And those people who are making those decisions
they know.
at CAF or even FIFA, they can see the quality.
Yeah.
I think that,
And if those in power at SAFA don't see that, oh,
yeah, because even then the number of yellow cards and red cards this season are gonna be more, because the frustration, the mental strength of the players to withhold those wrong decisions on the field of play is gonna be affected, and that's a problem. So you're gonna have players rushing out because of the wrong decisions being made by the referees.
well, we end it on that unfortunate note. Discussing
Very
the issue.
unfortunate.
Yes, but at least DRC came back, so I'm happy for Ibenge. Still lives another day.
You know, it was said that he had COVID. He won't be coaching. He sent me a message saying that he's very well. He's not suffering, but the CAF protocol said that he has tested positive.
But you say that
Oh wow! So he's not on the bench today.
No, he was there.
Okay.
Well, he was there. He sent me. He's talking. He sent me a video.
So why did they say he's tested positive?
I don't know. Ask a CAF.
You see, Ibenge need to raise his profile there. Where? At Chan.
No.
Ended.
Come on, Ibenge is an AFCON coach.
We
man.
know that.
Congo is
But
But why giving him Chan?
Ibenge is a bronze medal. In
If Chan
fact,
is,
on that
if
note,
Chan is not
switch off the microphone.
If Chan is not a top tournament, why is he going there?
No, because it's been asked by the government to
Yeah.
So you have to go because we need the best there. He's one of the best. He's going there.
Well, that was another edition of This is African Football. I thank you, Timothy Badabaire, Greg Gapia,
Thank you.
the Chan specialist,
Chan.
and the great Jeff Katala.
Thank you very much. It's almost a pleasure to come here and share my view with my fellow Africans.
Please keep safe, sanitize, wash your hands.
Yeah,
Yes,
social
please.
distancing.